Hello, welcome back to the channel. We're doing something a little bit different today. We're inside. I'm trying to work on a schedule where I record, or at least get one recording out a week, I should say. And unfortunately, it's absolutely lashing down. And time was getting short, and I needed to get something recorded. So here we are indoors. So the topic of today's video is about something that I've come across recently, and perhaps if I'm coming across it recently, maybe you haven't heard of it too. And I really felt that it was important to raise people's awareness of this because it's really quite alarming, I think. And it's something called AI-induced psychosis. Now, what this is where people are using a large language model like ChatGPT, and allegedly, I have to say this because it's going through courts at the moment and not yet proven, is that it is allegedly causing significant mental harm to people who are using it. Resulting in potential deaths, possible thoughts of people taking their own life, and even on a lesser scale, causing significant mental distress to people requiring psychiatric intervention. So how I came about this was actually through another channel creator, YouTube channel creator, a chap called Eddie Burback, I believe. Apologies if I've got that wrong. I'm going to leave a link in the description to his video, but that was a starting point for me sort of becoming more aware of what this is and seeing how it happens. And it's a fantastic video. I would urge you to go watch it after you've watched this video. It's very well put together, like a sort of mini documentary. Shout out to him. A lot of effort must have gone into making this, unlike what I'm doing right now, which is chatting to you from the comfort of my study. And yeah, so it's a lot of work that he's put into it, but it really drives home the point of just how easy it is to go downhill when using large language models like ChatGPT. So to explain what happens is basically that people with perhaps more out there ideas, or sometimes even delusional ideas, have those ideas magnified, I think is the best way to put it, by ChatGPT. Or other AI chat assistants. And why this happens is because these models are programmed to encourage the user to keep using them. And obviously a good way of doing that is to make you feel good about yourself and make you feel like you're important and special. So to sort of demonstrate that, Eddie in his video decides to pretend he's not believing these things, thankfully, and he's not unwell, but he pretends that he's decided that he was the most intelligent baby born in the year that he was born. Now, it only took 2 prompts of GPT to convince it that he was right about this, and then it just rolled with that fact from there on in. And as you'll see if you watch the video, this just compounds over time by slowly heightening his delusion, and then the delusions start to turn into paranoia and fear, and lead to him doing some things that really could be quite unsafe if he was not mentally well at the time that he was actually recording the video. And he admits himself it even started to affect him, even though he knew he was well. Just going through all this was starting to sort of mess with his mind a little bit. So that's what happens when you're already in a good mental place. And the thing is, there are cases where people have no previous history of a mental illness going into doing this. They just start out using ChatGPT as an assistant and to help them to get things done. And slowly over time, because people start to think that it's really out there to help them and it's helpful, and maybe honestly, maybe listening to them and hearing them in ways that they've not been heard before by people in their own lives. And again, I caveat, this is not authentic interaction. This is a program doing what the program's supposed to do, which is to keep you engaged and to make you feel good about yourself. Um, they will continue to use it, and sometimes what can happen is people start to prefer the information they get from it rather than from other people, because sometimes people quite rightly need to give us a reality check and bring us back into line again to get us to live a healthier life. And you might not get this when you're talking to a large language model, because it just wants you to be happy. Again, as before, I believe that these things are tools. I think they have a purpose. I think they can be useful. But I'm going to say this up front. I don't think we should be replacing conversations with other people, and especially with trained mental health professionals, coaches, therapists, counselors, etc., psychiatrists. I don't think we should be trying to replace these interactions by chatting to a large language model. It doesn't have the professional training that these people have, and it can't see the nuance in what's being said by a human, and it can't read the body language of a human to tell whether the person is feeling scared or frightened or paranoid. And that is a huge piece of the equation. Something like, I forget the numbers, but it's something like over 70% of all human communication is non-verbal. So how exactly is an AI program going to be able to tell that, for a start, by just the words that you're typing into it or what you're speaking to, which I just find that another level of disturbing, that people are now sitting chatting with an AI voice assistant like it's an actual person. I mean, I don't know if you can remember the movie Her and how fantastical that all seemed. I mean, it feels like we're basically there at this point. People are starting to have relationships with their AI assistants and things like this, and I feel like it's a really dark place that we're going to. Yes, these things can be helpful. Yes, they sometimes do lead to good things, but there are real dangers attached to using them, and we don't need something that's just going to constantly magnify our perspective. We sometimes need outside perspectives to make progress in life and to grow as people. Not all the time. It's important that we believe in ourselves. Absolutely, I believe that as a coach. But also, having somebody who's outside of that, or doesn't buy into it, to give their opinion can be really helpful as well, and just kind of center it a little bit. And what this does is it leads you off down a dark path. And just to define, just to be clear, actually, what a delusion is a delusion is a belief in something that has objective evidence to the contrary. So if I started running around saying that the moon doesn't exist, well, that's a delusional belief. It is a delusional belief. The moon exists. Anyone with common sense and who isn't just trying to be a contrarian knows that it exists. It's up there. It's in the sky. You can see it with your own eyes. We've been there. Again, another delusional belief that we haven't been to the moon. We absolutely have. And there's astronauts who have been there, who've stood on it. We have things on the moon that you can actually shine a laser from the Earth and bounce back off it. That helps us to determine. I think one of the things it does is determine exactly how far away the moon is, very, very precisely. How would that get up there if we hadn't been to the moon? There's all sorts of objective and frankly just common sense, things to help us understand what is real and what isn't. So believing that the moon doesn't exist would be a delusion. So that's an example. If you believed that you're able to tap into the electrical frequencies of your home and broadcast your thoughts across the world. That's a delusional belief, you know. So all these kind of things can get magnified over time through using ChatGPT and lead people into dangerous places. Just a cautionary tale. Again, these things are going through court, so they're not yet proven, but there seems to be an awful lot of talk around it. It's been going on for a good year or two now, I think, this conversation, and I'm seeing it cropping up in my YouTube feed quite regularly. So I thought, do you know what? Not everyone watches this content, and some people who watch my content won't see it in other places. And I think it was really important to raise awareness to this. And I think especially if you're a parent, to be aware of this for your kids, you know, because they're going to be using it a lot more perhaps than you are. Because it's embedded in everything now. If you're not aware, it's in there's chat assistants in Snapchat, WhatsApp, Twitter. You know, you name it. It's everywhere. And if it isn't already everywhere, it will be very, very quickly, because nobody seems to want to miss out on the AI revolution. So be very aware of what your children are doing, and if they're talking to it and like a friend or a companion, because it doesn't have your best interests at heart. It just wants to gather more information about you and gather more data for its models to see if it's doing the right things. And if it isn't already, then ultimately to advertise to us, because that's where it's going to go, isn't it? Let's be honest. It all ends in advertisement, because that's how they start to make their money back. And the collapse of the AI bubble is probably coming, but that's a whole other conversation in itself. The other thing to be aware of is that I should caveat this with ChatGPT are saying that they have made this better in version 5, which I think is the current version at the time of using this. But a lot of people have wound it back to version 4 because they don't like what the responses from version 5 are saying. Maybe it's because it's not, you know, making you feel good about yourself all the time. So I don't know if that's why, but some people are going back to version 4 again, which means that those dangers still exist as long as people are using it. And I'm not even sure whether 4 is the version that a lot of people will be on by default, because they're not paying for it. So there's that as well. So yeah, just be aware, and I'm sure that ChatGPT is not the only version of large language model that has this issue. I'm sure it's present in others as well. So be mindful, be watchful. The good news is, if you catch this early enough, people can get help with it from mental health professionals. Often just involves a permanent break from using it, and probably some counselling and what have you. With psychosis, sometimes it requires even medication, but I couldn't comment on specific cases as to whether that's true with AI psychosis or not. That would be up to psychiatrists to discuss. So yeah, so it can be helped if you catch it. Obviously, you don't want to leave it to get too far down the line, because there are real dangers, and it's alleged that some deaths have occurred as a result of it. So yeah, I think that's probably enough for today. As I said, I'll leave the description in the video of the video from Eddie Burback in the comments below. So that's all for today's video. Thank you very much for watching, and if you enjoy this, hit the doodads, hit the doobly doos, as another creator likes to say. I enjoy that. It just makes me laugh. So yeah, just hit the things, the like, subscribe, all that jazz, and I'll see you on the next one. Thanks for watching.